Hi everyone, and welcome to this month's edition of the Step Outside podcast. I'm Katie Donaldson with the School of Natural Resources and the UT Institute of Agriculture. Today I am at the East Tennessee Nursery with the UT Tree Improvement Program as they lift some white oak seedlings.
Everybody dressed warm enough? Yep.
Program Director and septuagenarian Professor Scott Schlarbaum isn't letting age get in the way of today's lifting.
In the Midwest, we just kind of work until we break. I'm from Nebraska, and it's Midwestern work ethic.
He's leading the operation with research associates and specialists, along with the crew of USDA Forest Service research forester Stacy Clark.
We are getting these beautiful white oaks lifted out of the ground and getting them prepped for planting. I think we are.
They start with the tractor dragging a seedling lifting machine. Schlarbaum and research specialist John Johnson follow behind to separate the seedlings.
We've got a little space in between the families, no space in between the seed size within family. And so John and I had to separate that and then separate the families. And those trees were so big, I might have been able to handle that, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. But that was pretty intense.
The seedlings came from the program's seed orchard on Jack Daniel Distillery's property in Lynchburg. Research specialist Amy Sharp works to keep them sorted and categorized.
When you're down in there working like that, you wouldn't believe how easy it is to, mix this category with that category. So she's gonna pick her own little project out of it. So that's her little thing. Stacy's running that part, and I'm just today at this moment now I'm just an you shall not pass person.
Stacy Clark plans to take some of the white oak seedlings to Virginia to see how the 2-year-old seedlings perform compared to 1-year-old seedlings from the same tree family. It's a cooperative study with the Tree Improvement Program, the Virginia Division of Forestry, and Virginia Tech.
This will be a very practical look at what should managers be planting in terms of age of the seedlings and size of the seedlings.
Clark says those recommendations are important because of the decline of white oak across the eastern U.S.
We have lots of big white oak out there, lots of big trees, but the little baby trees are not really making it into the next generation after a disturbance. And so that's why this is so important, is to keep these white oaks on the forest, to keep them available for everybody's use in terms of, we use white oak for staves to make whiskey. We use it for flooring. We use, the wildlife love white oak. Insects love white oak. It's got a lot of ecological value to it.
The seedlings not going to that study will be measured by the Tree Improvement Program. Spare seedlings will go to the U.S. Forest Service or the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
I am preparing some for for the Forest Service to try a few here and there, but we're talking 10s and 20s and things. My former second in command, Mark Miller, is a district silviculturist up on the Eastern Divide District in Virginia. Mark's we give him seedlings, so he wants a couple hundred. And then Britt Townsend from the Nature Conservancy, Britt wants about 150. And then we're also giving Britt about 50 or so native East Tennessee swamp white oaks.
Schlarbaum says the seedlings were planted as part of an experiment with the East Tennessee Nursery. Reforestation Unit Leader Gina Souders says the nursery has partnered with the Tree Improvement Program for years.
I can't think of a better way to educate future people to continue on the research and partnerships that we have, because unfortunately those that we have involved now, they're looking at retirement. We need fresh blood coming in.
UT undergraduate student Bailey Gwynn is also helping lift seedlings. Gwynn says he's learning real-life skills through the program.
I think it's great as a student to be able to apply what you've learned out in the field instead of just having classroom experiences. I've learned quite a bit out in the program.
Meanwhile, Schlarbaum says this is the last seedling lift for his career.
I'm not going to grow any more seedlings. This is the last lift that I'm going to do because it interferes with our grafting. I'm trying to start new orchards and complete orchards that we've already started. So when I do retire, whoever comes in after me doesn't have to do the rest of my stuff.
Schlarbaum says he doesn't plan on retiring for a few more years. That's it for this month's Step Outside podcast. Thank you for joining, and please tune in for the next one.